Hi guys, as you might have seen, YouTube has a bunch of bullshit policies regarding firearms. So these haven't actually changed since I'm surfing from a Swedish IP. I get it in Swedish. Anyway, they have a catch-all line in the bottom that says this is not a complete list, so they can do whatever they want. So what it actually means is that if you insert a magazine, probably 30 plus round magazine into a firearm, then you get a strike. If you thread on a suppressor in a video, you get a strike. If you put an optic on a rifle in a video, you get a strike. If you do anything to a rifle in a video, you get a strike. So it's pretty much impossible to do any video for me or anyone else on YouTube that has anything to do with any way modifying a firearm. You can hardly show yourself using firearms. You can still fire a firearm. Not sure, you'll probably get demonetized if you shoot full auto. But yeah, I only have my old full auto videos, so that's not something I do much of anymore. Anyway, it's pretty hard to make a video that doesn't get a strike when it's gun related content. So I can't show how to manufacture ammunition, I can't show how to do shit. So why is this? So the argument they say is because advertisers don't want to be associated with firearms related content. That is the reason. Everything is obviously legal that I do and that everyone else on YouTube does. So why don't advertisers want to be seen in conjunction with firearms? Yeah, it's because BlackRock owns all companies in the world. BlackRock and a few other investment banking companies like Vanguard and whatnot, and they own each other as well. It's the same guys at the top who owns everything in the world right now. That's like the end point of capitalism. All the power and the money is collected into a tiny little point. That wouldn't be an issue if they just kept accumulating money, but well, it would be an issue for a shitload of other reasons, but for the reasons I'm stating it, I'm talking about, it wouldn't be an issue unless they actually had a political agenda, which they do. So they have an agenda, and it's basically the principle of one share, one vote helps achieve this balance, blah, 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 blah. So back in the day when democracy was new and exciting, the people with the money got the vote. And BlackRock, since they own everything, or parts of everything at least, they get votes on everything in companies. And companies are also newspapers. There's Disney, there's our entire culture, they own it. And politics is downstream of culture. That is why there are so many woke bullshit movies and TV series and whatnot. Because the people at the top use the woke bullshit to divide and conquer us culturally, basically, so they can continue to control, to consolidate power at the top. So why is that? And they're not even hiding it. They have everything on their blackrock.com webpage, how they do it. So they're engaging with companies, and they have a bunch of guidelines, a bunch of environmental bullshit they use, which is basically invest in this, not that. So they want to have their other companies get some money. It's not actually good for the environment if you actually look into that shit. So what they do is they put their own people in the board of the companies. They vote for certain policies. So what's the end result of all this? It is that, for example, friends of mine who has gun stores, they cannot get an insurance because it goes against the BlackRock bullshit. They cannot get their stuff shipped because shipping companies won't handle their goods. They can't open a bank account because the banks are also owned by BlackRock and they deny that shit. It's not just YouTube. This is every company ever. That's why, what's it called? Well, it's hard to pay for gun stuff regardless of what it is online because they mostly don't want to handle your money. Some of you might have noticed, but gun stores definitely have noticed it. They cannot get they cannot use. It's hard to use credit cards at their stores because credit card companies or any kind of payment service don't want them. PayPal will just steal your money if you try to buy something gun related. Never use PayPal. Stop using that. So why might that be? Well, here is World Economic Forum's homepage. There we have a certain Mr. Fink, who is the CEO of BlackRock. He's part of World Economic Forum, of course. And yeah, those guys are the same people who travel to a certain island. It's the same kind of guys. It's pretty much messed up, all of it. And I'm not sure what to do about this. You can't really vote them out of power or anything like that. You can't not buy their shit. If you have a cell phone, you're giving them money and you're promoting slavery in the third world. You're promoting how they're exploiting children in Africa, how they're exploiting the Uyghurs in China, in slave camps and concentration camps. It's just evil, everything they do, and they just cover their evilness with a thin veneer of woke bullshit as a kind of alibi for everything they are doing. And mostly they're not even hiding it. Just go to World Economic Forum's homepage and read their bullshit and try to just read between the lines a little bit. But in BlackRock's page, they're just bragging about how they're taking over every company on the planet and pulling their bullshit with each and every one of them. So just gun stuff like the YouTube policy, that's the lowest hanging fruit. That is like the canary in the coal mine. But it's also the utmost expression of individual freedom to be able to own a firearm. The Second Amendment in the US is one of the greatest laws ever made, because it actually shows a government that cares about the people and not just consolidating power in the politicians' own hands. It gives the populace an out if the government turns into tyranny, which it's doing right now. This BlackRock bullshit is in bed with the US government. They're doing governmental functions with the money from the central banks and all that shit. And yeah, it's horrible. I'm not sure where this all ends, but we'll see. So yeah, in the end, this means that I'm gonna have a hard time making cool videos. But I'll try. But everyone needs to be aware of this shit going down. And the really funny part is how all these capitalist assholes have just made all the left-wing people all over the world just walking line behind them and thinking, I'm against this, I'm against the man, I'm actually protesting, when all they're doing is saying exactly what people like Larry Fink wants them to say. How can you be left-wing and against capitalist blaha woo-woo shit and actually do exactly what all the capitalists want them to do? That's the most ridiculous thing of all. And it's kind of hilarious that they just have like a controlled opposition in all the left-wing people in the world. Yeah, it's hilarious and sad at the same time. Okay, this video will be me ranting forever if I don't stop now. But I just wanted to get this out there, and that's why I might get more strikes for getting to delete some things, or the channel might just disappear because they made up some new bullshit rule and just retroactively delete my account. So we'll see what happens. And if I'm not longer on YouTube and you can't find my channel, I'm literally on every other streaming service there is. So find me there if I'm gone from YouTube. See ya.